I have a question around like sharing all of your emotions with your husband. Like, when is it appropriate to just do that? Because I've always struggled to share feelings because I'm like, in a few hours or tomorrow, it probably won't be such a big deal. So I don't want to dump this on anybody and just have it be this toxic thing that then tomorrow he's worried about fixing all this stuff and then I'm feeling okay because I got it out and like now I can deal with it. And so I've got to where even though I already had a hard time sharing emotions, like I find myself pulling back even more lately because we've had a lot of stress. And for some reason in this stage of my life, I'm like dealing with like childhood stress suddenly, probably just because my kids are old enough to be more independent and stuff. And so I have a lot of stuff coming up. But then I struggle to know like, do I share all of that with him? Do I find a woman to dump it on that will just, yeah. How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's a really, really
Gosh,
great
yeah.
question. Um, I know that it can be a very difficult balance because I feel like until Greg until I understood myself and until he understood more about women and how we work and whatnot, that yeah, it feels like I'm dumping it all on him and then now he has it. And I'm pretty sure that's how he felt, right?
Initially, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, you just gave me all of this and now it's mine.
Now I have to do something with it. I have to solve and fix her problem. So that feels very burdening. That can feel very burdening, right?
So if you approach him and say, I just want to process out loud. So this isn't yours. Don't take it. I'm not blaming you. I'm not putting this on you. It just helps me when I can process it out loud. All I'm doing is saying. So the emotions will come up. I'll say things. I won't even mean everything I say. It's just all gonna come up. So you put on your little imaginary hazmat suit and just listen. Let me get it all out. If you'll say that to him, he'll get it. He'll be like, oh, okay. Well, and you gotta tell him because men process silently by ourselves. We go into a cave, we'll go into a dark place, and I'll think, and then I'll come up and I'll say two lines to Rachel.
Yeah.
Women are like, no, yeah, I gotta say everything. And so, man, if she's saying it, she must mean it.
She must have thought a long time about that before saying it. And I'm like, no, I'm literally thinking out loud.
I've never thought this in my life, and I'm saying it. And so I realized, like, oh, she doesn't mean everything she says. And she says a lot of things very emotionally. She's just speaking her emotions. She's speaking her thoughts and fears and frustrations, how she wants things to be better. So I'm like, oh, she's not complaining. The sky isn't falling. She's not losing her mind. She's processing out loud. So if you tell your husband that and he gets it, then yes, share it all. And here's why. Observed over the years of working with people, if you don't process it out loud and get it out, you start to pull back and pull back and pull back. And you might not think anything's different, but what's happening, especially for a woman, is she's blossoming less and less and less. And so she becomes more constricted and everyone senses it. The husband senses it, the kids sense it, everyone senses there's nothing more beautiful in the world than a woman who can fully blossom. But she can't blossom if she feels like she has to keep those big, scary, ugly feelings kept inside, and she'll retreat ever so subtly away from her beauty and her greatness.
Well, I've even found for myself that the less emotionally honest I am, meaning that if I have thoughts and feelings and I feel like I can't share them with Ray, the less sexual I feel as well. Like it's almost like this openness is connected to our sexuality. So so part of the reason I sometimes feel like this isn't something I like to do all the time. That's something I always enjoy. I don't want to always share my feelings with him, right? But I found that if I don't, then it tends to create this gap in our relationship. So one of the reasons I don't go to other women to talk to them or anyone else is because I feel like that lessens our emotional intimacy. If I can share my thoughts and feelings with him, even though it's often sometimes painful, ugly, uncomfortable, whatever, that deepens our emotional intimacy, which then, of course, deepens our entire relationship, right? Because it's all connected. especially because with that openness and vulnerability, I'm also more than, and it's not like it's immediately connected. I feel like it's just
Generally connected.
generally it builds on itself. But then I'm also able to be more open and more vulnerable in our sexual relationship as well, right? Because it's all connected. Because the other thing that happens when you retreat and hold it in is that, and we've talked about this before, all that those emotions stack. They don't go away. They just keep building in there. And so then that causes, besides on a metaphysical level, that can cause like disease and all kinds of problems. But mentally and emotionally, it closes you off. So, and even I found for myself, like it is directly connected. It is connected to childhood and how we were raised and all these other things. Like you become almost cold or distant. You have a wall, right? So
It's like inner turmoil. It's disruptive of the peace. There's a disturbance in the force.
it doesn't even feel like a disturbance. It can almost feel like a numbness, like you just don't feel. Like I feel, especially when early on, like I was more numb. I just didn't have as many emotions. I was just kind of like monotone. It's like, which you would think is a good thing, except that then I feel like you feel lower levels of joy or happiness as well, right? So we have to be able to feel emotions in order to feel good emotions. And if we can't feel any emotions, then we're not going to be able to feel positive emotions either. So being able to share those thoughts and feelings and emotions and to be open and to be raw and to be vulnerable just not only helps me, but it deepens the relationship, it helps the sexuality, all of those things. So yes, it's difficult because if a man doesn't understand the framework, it's very crushing. But once you help him understand the framework, and even like I would have to remind him, be like, wait, I'm just venting, remember? Right. And then he's
My automatic setting is fix it mode. Something's wrong, fix it. And she's like, no, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen while I think out loud. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Powerful. Trina, thank you so much for sharing this. It's going to come up for every single one of us. As we're rolling along through life, we'll go through different stages, and that little event, that time period or whatever, brings something up from our past. That's such a treasure. It doesn't feel like a treasure. It feels like a nightmare. It's like, this is horrible. I don't want that to come up. But what's happening is God in the universe is like, just when the timing's right, like, here it comes. And what it is, it's like an opportunity to address it. Like, oh, wow. I didn't realize that this experience I had when I was 13 never got fully processed. So here it is now. Now I'm almost 50. Here's this thing that happened when I'm 13. Here's my opportunity to process it and let it go. It never has to come back. Bring it up, process it, release it, and let it go. And then you're moving along and something else comes up. And eventually you'll process everything. And then you'll be able to look inside and say, there's nothing else. I'm healed. There's no bleeding open wounds. And it's the most beautiful thing to be a whole person. So as it comes up, be grateful for it. Like, let it come up, feel it, process it, work through it, and then let it go. Don't keep shoving it back down and stacking on top of it. You'll keep those things forever. So if something happens and it brings it up, be like, okay, wasn't expecting that. Obviously, it's still there. Now I have a chance to process it.